How's it going, everyone? I'm back with another reaction video. I know it's been a while since I dropped one, but it's just because I've been, like super busy with school and stuff like that, school and family. But I finally got time to put one out. This one was actually requested in the comments of my last video, so I decided to, give it a shot. It says, "The schizophrenic serial killer, Herbert Mullin." Now, they didn't request this exact video, but they requested the name, this serial killer, I'm guessing. So that's what we're going to dive in today. We got this video from Shrouded Hand. It's called, or I just said the title, but "The Schizophrenic Serial Killer, Herbert Mullin." Let's get to it.
I've covered some schizophrenic killers on this channel before, people like Richard Chase, but one thing I want to avoid is painting all schizophrenics as potentially dangerous killers. Obviously, it's a very complex mental disorder and these kinds of crimes are the exception rather than the rule. However, if you wanted a stereotypical image of a schizophrenic maniac hearing voices in their head commanding them to kill, then Herb Mullin is your man. Born April 18th, 1947 in California. As with a lot of schizophrenic cases, his symptoms didn't manifest in childhood. He was a gifted kid who achieved good grades in school and was a popular, confident boy. Something seemed to trigger within him shortly after he graduated high school. His close friend Dean Richardson was killed in a car accident and Herb didn't handle it very well. In his bedroom, Herbert built a strange shrine to Dean Richardson, sticking photos of him on the wall and arranging the furniture around it.
That sounds super crazy. We're a minute in, and this dude's already on the, already over the edge of psychopath. Like, bro.
He became obsessed with Eastern mysticism and ideas of reincarnation. He also developed a preoccupation with impending natural disasters and how it might be possible to stop them. It was also around this time that he discovered LSD, regularly taking it in large doses along with cannabis. This most likely fueled his paranoid obsessions. His behaviour began to change. He became withdrawn and secretive. He sometimes had violent outbursts that alarmed his family members. One day in 1969, he suddenly displayed a bizarre new behaviour. The family were sat at the table having dinner when Herbert began to copy every action that his brother-in-law made. This is known as echopraxia, the involuntary mimicry of some...
Hold on, I want to read that.
This is known as
Echopraxia is a rare but striking catatomic system. Some inner forces appear to compel the patient to repeat the movements of others. That's some pretty crazy shit. And schizophrenia, that's when you have inner voices inside you, right? Or other personalities, or is that something else? What was that one movie with the... Damn, it's blanking my mind. But that one movie where... Was it Split? I think it was Split, where that dude had multiple personalities. That movie, that's what it reminds me of. I think that's the same disease.
Praxia, the involuntary mimicry of someone else's actions. It can be a symptom of schizophrenia, although other conditions like Tourette's syndrome and autism can cause echopraxia too. Either way, his family was so disturbed by his behaviour that they committed him to a mental institution, and there he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. Over the following years, Herbert Mullin would find himself in a cycle, going in and out of various institutions. He would be admitted to a hospital, displaying bizarre new behaviours and paranoid delusions. A few weeks later he would be considered recovered enough to be released, only to be readmitted months later when the symptoms resurfaced. When he was in these institutions, he would write letters to strangers. He signed these letters, "A Human Sacrifice, Herb Mullin." Perhaps these letters were a warning sign of what Herb would go on to do in the future. Outside of the institutions, his behaviour was strange. One report says that he would water his welcome mat every morning as if it was a plant.
Wait, so this is him before he's an adult, right? Because it said his parents put him in the hospital, whatever the fuck. So like this is before whenever he's like younger, right? That's fucking crazy.
He got kicked out of one apartment for incessantly pounding on the floor, shouting at people who weren't really there. In 1972, aged 24, he moved back in with his parents.
I'm tripping.
His current obsession was earthquakes. His birthday had been on the 41st anniversary of the San Francisco earthquake of 1906, and for him this had a special significance. He started to hear voices in his head, including the voice of his father. The voices told him that a large earthquake was going to hit California. They also told him that he could prevent this earthquake. All he needed to do was kill people. He called these messages die songs.
Oh my god. That sounds fucking horrible.
It was around this time that he met a man named Alan Hansen. Alan also had an interest in Eastern mysticism, and he confirmed Herb's beliefs about reincarnation. He also told Herb that the voices in his head were not delusions, but telepathic messages. He told him that he had been chosen by God to do something special. Perhaps without this encouragement, he wouldn't have gone on to do what he did. On October 13th, 1972, Herb Mullin was driving along the road in the Santa Cruz Mountains when he spotted a homeless man named Lawrence White hitchhiking. Mullin believed that the man was psychically communicating with him. Telepathically, Lawrence claimed to be Jonah from the Bible. Psychically, he said to Herb, "Pick me up and throw me over the boat. Kill me so that others will be saved." Herb now knew what his mission was. In order to stop the impending earthquake, he would need to kill Lawrence White.
So bro was doing the Randy Orton before it was cool? He just fucking... Bro, that's crazy, not even gonna lie. Imagine just hearing random people telling you to kill them, but it's not real. That's super trippy.
He stopped the car and lifted the hood, telling Lawrence that he was having engine trouble. As Lawrence stooped to examine the engine, Herb Mullin clubbed him over the head with a baseball bat and then battered him to death.
Poor old man.
The corpse of a dead homeless man didn't raise much interest with the police, and as there were no witnesses to the murder, Herb Mullin got away scot-free. 11 days later, he picked up another hitchhiker. This time it was Mary Guilfoyle, a student at Cabrillo College who was running late for an interview. Presumably following the instructions of some other telepathic message, Herb Mullin stabbed Mary to death. He then slit open her abdomen with a hunting knife and scattered her internal organs along the side of the road. Her body would remain undiscovered until February the following year.
Bro, that's brutal. What the fuck?
On November the 2nd, Mullin went to St. Mary's Catholic Church and confessed his crimes to the Reverend Henry Tomei. Once he had finished his confession, Herb claims he saw a light above the booth and heard a voice saying, "That's the person to kill." He pulled out his hunting knife, dragged the priest from the booth, and stabbed him to death right there in the church.
Bro, this dude don't give a fuck. He has the voices of the devil in his head. Like, I'm not even religious at all, but that dude has the voices of the devil. That's some crazy shit. He just heard it in his head. That's the one I want you to kill. Grabbed him, boom, stabbed to death.
There was one witness, a parishioner who ran away when Herb started to attack the priest. Their description of a tall man in dark clothes didn't help the police much, and so Herb got away again without arousing suspicion. It should also be noted that around this time, the serial killer Ed Kemper was operating in the same area, and so police resources were tied up tracking him down. Any additional murders were most likely attributed to him. It probably didn't occur to the police that there were two serial killers operating at the same time. In December, Mullin read the book Einstein on Peace. As well as his birthday being the anniversary of a massive earthquake, Mullin also shared his birthday with Einstein, and he thought this was significant. After reading the book, he decided to buy a hunting rifle for protection. On January 19th, sick of his increasingly strange behaviour, his parents told him to move out, and so he moved into a dilapidated apartment of his own. This gave him more time to sit and stew on his life and think about where things had gone wrong for him. He decided that his problems all stemmed from his drug use, and the person responsible for this was James Gianera, the man who had first introduced Mullin to cannabis all those years ago.
Damn, so he's really trying to blame this on weed? Do people actually get schizophrenia from weed? Or is it just like already in their head and it just becomes surface level once they... I don't even know. I don't want to dive into that. That's trippy.
Mullin decided that James was involved in a conspiracy to ruin his life and he needed to die. He went to the place where he thought James lived, but he found it had a new occupant, Kathy Francis. Kathy told Mullin that James Gianera had moved away and gave him his new address. Herb drove to this new address and gained entry to the house. Once inside, he shot James and his wife Joan in the head. Once they were dead, he stabbed their corpses repeatedly with his hunting knife. Afterwards, worrying that Kathy Francis might reveal his identity to the police, he drove back to her house and shot her and her 2 sons in the head. Kathy's husband, who was away at the time, was a known drug dealer, and so the murder of her and her sons, along with her friends James and Joan, were assumed to have been part of a gang-related hit, and once again Herb Mullin escaped suspicion. A month later, Herb was taking a walk through the Henry Cowell Redwood State Park. There he encountered a group of 4 teenage boys camping illegally at a spot named the Garden of Eden. He told the boys that he was a park ranger and he asked them to leave, saying that they were polluting Mother Earth, but they refused. At the same time, he telepathically asked the boys if he could kill them, and telepathically they said yes he could.
Bro, that's... Every time a killing gets brought up, his, like, quote-unquote schizophrenic powers just, like, increase level by fucking level. So right now he's like talking to them and they're talking back. Before it was just like someone giving him orders. Now it's like a full ass conversation. But damn, bro.
He then drew his rifle and shot each one of them dead as they sat helpless in their tent. One of the bodies was found desperately trying to claw their way out of the side of the tent as they were being shot. It seems they didn't have a quick death. The bodies wouldn't be found until a week later, but by this point Mullin had killed again. On February the 13th, Herb was driving along Garkey Street in Santa Cruz. He was delivering firewood to his parents' home at the time. Suddenly he heard the voice of his father call out, "Don't you dare deliver a stick of wood unless you've killed somebody." He spotted a suitable victim, Fred Perez, a retired fisherman who was weeding his front yard. Herb Mullin stopped his car and got out. He carefully laid his rifle over the hood of his car, took aim and shot Fred through the heart, killing him instantly. This all happened in broad daylight, and multiple witnesses got Herb's license plates before he drove away. He was apprehended by police that very same day, giving himself up calmly when stopped at an intersection. Upon searching his apartment, police found newspaper clippings related to the murders, as well as a pouch of rosary beads belonging to Father Henry Tomei. During questioning, he told the police about his mission and how he had stopped natural disasters from occurring by murdering people. As proof of his efforts, there had been no earthquakes in the area the whole time he had been killing people. Strangely enough, 8 days after his arrest, California was hit by a 5.8 magnitude earthquake, and this further fueled Herb's belief that he had been on a mission from God.
Not gonna lie, if like I was reading the paper at the time and it said like this dude killed from this month to this month and it showed that there was no earthquakes, but like before then there was earthquakes and after then there was earthquakes, I would be pretty tripped out, not even gonna lie. I would be like, what the fuck, he's controlling it?
A transcript of part of his interview reveals his mental state at the time. When asked about the murders, he said, "We human beings, through the history of the world, have protected our continent from cataclysms by murder. In other words, a minor natural disaster avoids a major natural disaster. You see, the thing is, people get together, say in the White House. People like to sing the die song, you know. People like to sing the die song. If I am president of my class when I graduate from high school, I can tell 2, possibly 3 young male Homo sapiens to die. I can sing that song to them, and they'll have to kill themselves or be killed. An automobile accident, a knifing, a gunshot wound. You ask me why this is, and I say, well, they have to do that in order to protect the ground from an earthquake, because all of the other people in the community have been dying all year long. And my class, we have to chip in, so to speak, to the darkness. We have to die also, and people would rather sing the die song than murder. Mullin was clearly mentally ill. At the trial he confessed to the killings, but claimed diminished responsibility for reasons of insanity. The problem was the murder of Kathy Francis and her sons. This was done purely to cover his tracks, not because of some altruistic delusion that he was stopping earthquakes. He'd also done other things to cover his crimes, like filing down the serial number on his gun. This proved to the court that, although he was clearly mentally ill, he knew that what he was doing was wrong, and that he had the mental acuity to obey or disobey the voices in his head. For this reason, he was found guilty of first and second-degree murder, and instead of being committed to a mental asylum, he was sentenced to life imprisonment. Herb Mullin is up for parole in 2025.
Bro, what the fuck? I was expecting him to be fucking dead, long gone. Oh my god, that's fucking
But
crazy.
it's unlikely that he'll get released.
God damn, bro, that's him. I mean, he looks like a normal old man. But I was expecting him to say, like, he died in 1990 or some shit like that.
It's possible that he could be transferred to a mental institution rather than a prison. There's a campaign to do just that.
Why?
Today, Herb Mullin has his own website that contains his writings and artwork. He expresses remorse for the killings and recognises that he was in a grip of a schizophrenic delusion at the time.
Hold on, I kind of want to look at that after this video.
A lot of the writing on there just sounds like the typical ravings you'd expect from someone who's seriously mentally unwell, but it's interesting to look through nonetheless. I'll put a link to his site in the description if you want to have a look for yourself. As for who's ultimately responsible for these crimes, well, I've never heard a voice in my head commanding me to kill, so I've no idea how easy it would be to disobey such a voice. Apparently Mullin said once he started to hear the robotic voice of his father, he found himself powerless to disobey. Around the time that Mullin began to show signs of schizophrenia, there were large cuts to mental health service budgets. Perhaps if he'd received better care, things might have turned out differently. Then again, it's quite easy to blame society or the government, but Mullin's actions showed that he knew what he was doing and made efforts to ensure that he wouldn't be caught. So what do you think? Is Herb Mullin a monster or simply a victim of circumstance? Maybe he's somewhere in between. As with most things concerning mental health, it's never a black and white issue. There's always some grey area. Thank you for watching the video. And if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. As usual, I want to say a huge thanks to...
Shit, that definitely deserves a thumbs up, bro. You already know I'm about to boom. And y'all should like my video. But so that was it for this, for the actual video part. I actually want to check out his website. So hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, so we're here on the website. Let me get my quick handy dandy calculator out. Where the fuck did I put my calculator? Bro, what the fuck? Is that him? He's asking me a question? Should I ask him? Who's next? Oh my god. I don't want to answer that. I feel trapped. Alright, so Herbert William Mullin. Let's see. Oh, he has the fucking days right there. From 1947 2022. That's fucking crazy. What's that, like 75 years? Is that it? Wait. Let's look up. No, I want to see like his fucking drawings. Was this? Nope, that's not it. I am not gonna support this murderer, but I want to see the fucking. I want to see the thing that I saw. Bro, where? I'm so confused. Where was that? Was this? Alright, let's see what this says. 3/26/2019. So this was after he's in jail for like 70 years. At the time of the crimes, I was gullible in the sense that when I hallucinated and heard my father or his mother tempting me to go and commit the crimes, I believed them and could not differentiate hallucinations from reality. Gullible in the sense that I was open to suggestions that I thought and or imagined were coming from my family and or former friends. At the time of the crimes, I was immature in that I was not experienced or educated concerning adult ways of acting and or interacting with other adults. I did not have the wisdom to guide and protect and improvise myself in the normal, natural American social, economic, and political struggle. Working together, my naivety, gullibility, and immaturity helped to cause my undifferentiated schizophrenia and paranoid, undifferentiated schizophrenia. I think that's what it fucking says. The crimes happened during the 4-month period mentioned above. I plead not guilty by reason of insanity. At the original trial, I'm guessing, I would like to get Xerox copies of my oral testimony and my 2 handwritten defense exhibits from that original trial. Those Xerox copies would definitely shed light on your questions concerning naivety, gullibility, and immaturity. Well, that was a whole lot of nothing. Bro, where the fuck is the... Alright, let's see. Here we go. This is the happy ending to the story. California, inmate who admitted Wait, fuck. Let me restart. California, inmate who admitted to 13 murders dies natural death. California inmate who confessed to killing 13 people in a matter of months during the 1970s has died of natural causes at age 75. What the fuck did I say? I said it was in there for 75 years? What was I reading? Bro, what the fuck? How did I say he was in there for 75 years? He's 75. I must have just fucking saw a random number. Don't call me stupid in the comments. Please don't fucking kill me. But let's see. Herbert W. Mullin's victims range from age 4 to 73. I'm guessing that was one of the 2 sons. And that was the old man. That's so sad. Included a priest. Okay. Mullin died Thursday evening at the California Healthcare Facility in Stockton. Corrections officials said, and the San Joaquin County Medical Examiner will determine his exact cause of death. Mullin was serving 2 concurrent sentences of life with the possibility of parole for first-degree murder. 9 terms of 5 years to life for second-degree murder. Okay, this is all killings were committed 1972 to 1973. Mullin showed no true remorse for these brutal murders. I mean, yeah, he was a psychopath. Till the day he died. Oh yeah, here's the victims. Rest in peace. But that's gonna be the video, guys. I really like the style. I like the channel, so I'm gonna go subscribe to them. So hopefully I'll be able to do more in the future. Shout out to Krisha Blue for the suggestion. I hope I'm saying her name right. But shout out for the suggestion. That was a really good one. So anyways, guys, that'll be all. If you guys have another suggestion, just let me know in the comments. I really like true crime stuff, but I'm open to looking at whatever. I'm open-minded. Make sure you leave a like. Don't forget to go subscribe to the channel. The video that I just watched, go give it a like. And I'm gonna leave a link to the original video in the description, so if you want to go check it out, you can go subscribe to him as well. But yeah, don't forget to leave suggestions in the comments and let me know what you want to see. You have a good one. Stay safe.